Since 1980, Mr. Bug's Pest Control has remained one of Alabama's top pest control companies. From residential to commercial, we always strive to embrace our industry's latest and most current technology. We provide our customers peace of mind by knowing their pest and termite control needs are met. At Total Roofing, we understand the importance of a sturdy and reliable roof. Whether you're dealing with roof repair, restoration, shingle replacement, storm damage, or a pesky roof leak, we've got you covered. Call Total Roofing at 205-432-8395. Buddy's Barbecue, a family-run staple in Alabaster since 1976. We make barbecue the old-fashioned way and serve it with our handmade sides.
From the class of 89.
From 87.
From 83. First state champs.
Always a warrior.
Better Lawn and Gardens. We're located right here in Alabaster. We specialize in weed control and fertilizing, landscape lighting, lawn maintenance, and landscaping. We love serving our neighbors in Alabaster. Reach out for your free quote.
Welcome back to the Weekly Warrior Preview. The last few times the Warriors have faced Oak Mountain, it's been blowout games. But as Coach Mark Freeman will tell you, to keep that trend going, it will come down to little mistakes on the field.
Well, obviously excited about the win. Those region games add up at the end of the year. It's like you throw them in a bucket, and you got to have enough to get a chance to play in the playoffs. And so that was one that we put in the bucket. We got to go get another one this week, and the schedule just is every week. It's an important game. You have to take it one day at a time and get better every day at practice, and then just count them up at the end of the year and hope you got enough to get in the playoffs. I think we are. I think last week we played better on offense last week. Defense obviously played really well. We dropped a punt on inside the 10, and that's the way the other team had their touchdown that night. So I thought we played better. And judging it just simply off ourselves, not the opponent that we're playing, because we don't control the opponent. But I think as a collective group, we played better. Special teams was really good, except for some situations on punt return. There was confusion on what group of guys we had in the game. We got that fixed Sunday in our meeting, and so I think we got better. Matter of fact, I think we got a lot better as a team. Just their effort. We don't have the one shining star, let's say, this year, but they do a great job blocking downfield. They do the things that true football teams do. They're blocking well downfield. We got a situation last week. It rained, and we just felt like we could run the ball on them, and I think we ran for over 300 yards. And so people say, well, we didn't throw it as much. No, we didn't, because last year down the road we have to run the football. So right now we're trying to really work on running football, and last week I was really happy. Mike and RJ had a great game running the ball. We did a great job up front blocking forward. We threw the ball when we had to. We just didn't have to throw the ball last week. It rained, of course, which is never really ideal to throw the ball in, but I thought we did a great job running football. I thought they played pretty good at Lipscomb. I just thought that we got to get off the field on third down. If you watch the history of our program here over the years, when the defense gets off on third, 3 and out, we somehow really have great offensive drives after that. I don't know if it's a mental thing, and if there's something realistically to it that we call better plays. We feel like we're 3 and out, keep momentum. But when they go 3 and out, we usually have a pretty good drive after that. And we had some 3 and outs last week. The game, we had the game in hand 14-0. We throw a pick in the red zone. They get the ball back. That drive, they get the ball back. We get off the field. We have a roughing the passer, which keeps the drive going. We have an offsides penalty. Just little things that you got to clean up to expect it to be great. You got to clean those things up. Great, really good quarterback. He's a big guy. It extends plays. When you get in trouble against them is when you let the quarterback extend plays. They got a lot of design Q runs. We got to have somebody on the quarterback. He's a really good football player. Running back does a really great job. They got a couple good receivers that can go catch the ball. They do a good job preparing on offense with what they have to fix around the quarterback, which is obviously a really good player. They'll young man is a good football player. So we have to have our eyes on him. We got to know what he's doing every play. And then defensively, they're again a third-rate stack team like we played first week at Grayson. They do a good job on defense. They fly the ball. And they're much better. They've done a great job over there. They're better this year. I think they're look like a lot more organized, and the kids are playing hard.
Don't forget, if you're not attending the game, you can hear all the action on the Warrior Nation Network. It's now time for the DL on the Warriors. The Warriors softball team took to the diamond this weekend as part of the Field of Angels. The nonprofit league allows children with physical and mental disabilities to participate in the game and run the bases. The cross-country team had a strong showing at the early bird twilight race in Montevallo. Hannah Sheffield had a top 10 finish in the 3-mile with a time of 20 minutes and 26 seconds. And congrats to the Thompson volleyball team for taking second at the Mako Battle of the Beach tournament. The ladies will host the Showdown of the South this weekend. That's going to do it for us here on the Weekly Warrior Preview. Thank you guys for watching us each and every week and our sponsors who make this show possible. And welcome home, Warriors, to Warrior Stadium.
Hey there, Alabaster. When you're injured and you need someone to fight for your rights, turn to the name you can trust, Sean Capps Injury Law. At Sean Capps Injury Law, we're not just attorneys, we're your neighbors, your advocates, and your partners in justice. Got questions about a personal injury, wondering what your case is worth? We've got the answers. Visit our website at www.capsinjurylaw.com or call us at 205-955-5555 for a free case evaluation. And here's the best part, you won't pay us a dime unless we win your case. That's our promise to you.
Warrior Express Texaco is your one-stop shop for all your convenience needs. From ice-cold beverages to their delicious Hunt Brothers pizza, Warrior Express has everything you need to get Warrior ready this football season. Locally owned and operated, their friendly staff is second to none. Each of their 10 fueling stations is equipped with 5 types of fuel, including non-ethanol and diesel, available at every pump. Fuelman is accepted and buses are welcome. For unbeatable mileage, put some Techron in your tank today. Go Warriors!
And welcome in, everybody, broadcasting live from Alabaster, Alabama tonight. I'm Tim Melton, and it's an honor to be here again for the Warrior Nation Network as your official host all season long. We are counting down the minutes until your Thompson Warriors once again take the field as this much-respected Alabaster squad looks to notch their second region win of the season tonight, following a big-time win on the road last week against Tuscaloosa County. Each and every week you see teams trying their hardest to take down Thompson. This time it'll be Oak Mountain's chance as the Eagles will try their hardest to score on a very tough Warriors defense that has played its heart out week after week with an offense that's got its legs under it and is now ready to test itself in region play at home for the first time this season. We are kicking off tonight an hour earlier than promoted earlier through the week, as kickoff will happen at 6 o'clock Central here at Warrior Stadium. Tonight's broadcast and all Warrior Nation Network broadcasts are brought to you by Central State Bank. Central State Bank is the official banking partner of Thompson Athletics. Are you looking for a local banking partner to meet your personal, business, or mortgage needs? Look no further than Central State Bank. Call or stop by a branch today. I can't go any further without bringing in the voice of the Warriors, Matthew Moyer. Matthew, if we can get the elements to cooperate with us tonight, it should be a very memorable game.
It should be a wonderful game tonight. Both teams come in with identical records. Thompson with a huge win down in Tuscaloosa County last night. Oak Mountain lost to Prattville right towards the end of the game last week, so they're going to be hungry. We definitely want to get to 2-0 in region play. It should be a tremendous game tonight.
Matthew, you know these programs well. I feel like these are two programs within the region that no doubt want to win whenever they suit up. But Thompson and Oak Mountain definitely seem to have a certain level of respect for one another.
Yes, they absolutely do. What is it, 15, 20 minutes, depending upon traffic in between the two programs. Long storied history between the two. Oak Mountain became a school, early 2000. Kind of back and forth up until about 2016, and then it's been quite a dry spell. And so they're trying to climb that mountain. It's, really, when you look at it in the region, Thompson's the Super Bowl game for a lot of these teams now. So I'm really excited about this one. I think it's going to be a great game.
Matthew, last week Thompson got out of Tuscaloosa and back to Alabaster with their first region win of the year and second overall win in a row. It was an extremely wet game down on the field of play. It really can't be understated how important of a test that was in an environment where not everything could be controlled.
That is absolutely correct. We established that run game, and we established it early. We were just talking a little bit ago about Michael Dujon, and he crossed the 150-yard mark halfway through the first quarter last week, and then R.J. Evans ends up being our player of the game. So our ground game really set the foundation for us. Trent had a wonderful game. Really good job by our special teams, and so they've got to be feeling good heading into their second region game.
I've covered Coach Freeman for a while now. You know him very well. He is someone that cares about composure and sportsmanship. I know we are set to get into some X's and O's very soon, but emotionally, you've got to love the maturity that we've seen from this team so far through 3 games.
There's no doubt about it. It's to start off with Grayson. You're talking about, one of the better programs, not only in Georgia, but one of the better programs, period. And I thought we played a tremendous game. Come out of there with a 1-point loss on a 2-point conversion in overtime. Then we traveled north to Nashville. It was 103 degrees, at least according to the vehicle. On our way up there, game time was somewhere close to that. And they played a whale of a game. And then last week in very sloppy conditions on the road, in the region, starting play that really affects the rest of the year, and they looked so good. They were composed. There were probably a few more yellow flags on the field than what Coach Freeman would like to see, but anytime you're in the region, you go on the road, you come out with a W, it just makes for a much more enjoyable ride home.
Our Warrior Nation Network color analyst is 2-time state champion John Lunsford. John, this game tonight serves up yet another opportunity for Thompson to cement themselves within the region. Every single game has weight to it, but especially when you're lined up across from a region opponent.
Yeah, look, you want to try to start early with those wins. You don't want to fall behind the 8 ball. And, you saw with a team like Tuscaloosa County the last couple of years, they started pretty good, and it made it where really down the stretch they only had to win a game or two to even make the playoffs. They didn't, but getting that early start put them in a totally different mindset to every team they play. Oh, wait, hold on, there's something to this team. They've already won some games, and I know Thompson comes in winning a lot of games, but the same holds true for Thompson. Even still, you don't want to struggle in any region games coming up early, and, Tuscaloosa County, Oak Mountain, typically looked at as kind of the bottom half, but you have the state coming up next week. They can play after that, another region game, but a game that Thompson lost last year, so this is the perfect time to build that up. Tuscaloosa County was the start of that when it came to region play. Obviously, the 2 teams before, tough opponents, even though they were non-region, to kind of build up, and I think we finally saw a little bit more of a complete game last week from Thompson, and you tried to bring that into this week as well.
John Lunsford has tonight's starting lineup presented by Abide Roofing. And Abide Roofing, they understand that your home is your most valuable asset, and they're committed to protecting it with top-quality roofing solutions. Whether you need roof repairs, replacements, or installations, their team of experienced professionals delivers exceptional service and lasting results. John, who are we set to see under the lights tonight?
All right, starting tonight for your Thompson Warriors, let's start with offense, and let's, of course, go with Trent Seaborn under center, even though really nobody goes under center anymore. Trent will, of course, be your starting quarterback. Michael Dujon, after an incredible week last week, like Matthew said, had over 150 yards on really the first 2 drives. Just absolutely crushed it, did really well. He will start running back tonight.
John, the band hit at the moment you said Dujon, and it was very epic, and that's the type of performance that he put up a week ago.
Absolutely, very epic. Really in the last 2 games, came back from injury after that first week, kind of got banged up, came back, played well against Lipscomb, and played really well. And of course, in a Rainfield game, it is not raining now. You see the band not in their uniforms. I don't blame them. It is so humid outside. Just in the booth, I'm sweating from the humidity. I don't blame them for being in shorts and T-shirts out there. But if that rain hits, Dujon will be very, very important. That offensive line, Baron Criddle, left tackle, A.J. Williams played really well last week at left guard. Dylan Marquise at center. Braden Saylor at right guard, and Parker Middlestat will be your right tackle. Those five blocking for Dujon and Seaborn. At wide receiver, Dedrick Kimbrough, you have Price Lewis, Darian Mosley, and Trey Knight, who I believe is actually the leading receiver so far this season based on stats. And look, Trent hasn't had to do a lot because Dujon has played so well, and of course in the rain last week. Couldn't really do a lot through the air. Let's go to the defense. On that defensive front, you have Jared Smith, Nick Austin, Hayden McDonald, Cam Pritchett. Really good interior guys there. Hayden McDonald, Nick Austin played really well last week. Trent McCorvey, Trent Cheatham, and Vinny Pyers at the linebacker spot. Fagans, Lewis, Tab, and Fleming at the defensive back spot.
John, what do you think will be the pass run play call percentages tonight with how well the Warriors ran the ball 1 week ago with 307 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns on the ground?
Yeah, I kind of hope early on, because right now nothing's happening when it comes to the rain. Like I said, super humid because it has been raining this week, and obviously you can look up in the sky and see the storms are brewing up there. But we're only 14 minutes from kickoff. Before that, hey, let's start airing the ball out. Let Trent get some numbers. I've talked to people who don't necessarily follow Thompson. They just maybe see some stats and they look at like Will Odell's stats and say, man, he has incredible numbers. Where's Trent Seaborn's numbers? And it's like, well, he's had to do a lot to win those games. They've been high-scoring games from both sides. He's had to put up the yardage through the air and on the ground. He's had over 100-yard rushing games in all 3 games so far, and it's averaging like 160 yards, something crazy like that. Trent hasn't had to really do anything. Dujon has been so good. He especially in the last couple of games, and I know against Grayson, it's a little bit more of a struggle, and the offense was able to move the ball. They just couldn't get it past about the 35 to really punch it in. But guess what? Overtime, 1st and 10, Trent throws the perfect pass and shows, hey, I'm still here. I still got it. So he's been good. You just haven't needed him to be great yet. And that's people just look at the numbers and say, well, where's that guy we've heard about the last 3 years since he was an 8th grader? He's still there. He's still playing perfectly fine. So maybe early on before the rain starts falling, throw it, do what you can, and then if it starts falling, hey, number 5, it's your turn.
We appreciate John Lunsford with the Abide Roofing starting lineup. Call today for all of your roofing needs, 205-941-6223. There's so much more to get into here on the Warrior Nation Network in mere moments as we're set to see the Thompson Warriors take the field against the Oak Mountain Eagles. Let's talk about some of the weather conditions in tonight's contest as it's currently 75 degrees here in Alabaster with a 30% chance of rain tonight and winds staying below 5 miles per hour. This weather report is brought to you by Rentalmen. At Rentalmen, it's their goal to be your best choice for large and small equipment rental and sales. With locations in Calera, Pell City, Decatur, and Tuscaloosa, they can serve home residential and commercial customers across the state of Alabama. Call them today for all of your equipment needs. John, I know you've had your fair share of playing in wet and rainy conditions. I'm hoping we can avoid those tonight.
Yeah, me too. Saying it's only 30%. I mean, look, you look one way and say, it's not that bad. You look the other way and say, wait, it is kind of that bad. So we'll see what actually ends up happening.
We will take a short timeout. We'll return with a check-in with Christina Chambers down on the sidelines. We'll be right back here on the Warrior Nation Network pregame show.
Poto's Boutique is a proud sponsor of Thompson Athletics. Ladies, are you looking for casual and cute outfits, accessories, or the newest fashion trends? Poto's has you covered. Follow us at Poto's Boutique on Facebook and Instagram, or stop by our store on Highway 31 in Calera.
I'm Dr. Michael Patterson, orthopedic surgeon specializing in sports medicine. I've been fortunate since I've been in Alabaster to be the team physician for Thompson High School. Been in there 14 years. Basically take care of the athlete, and that includes ankle sprains to shoulder injuries to neck and back injuries that occur during sports. We also have training room out of those schools. We're there to evaluate their injuries, make sure they can safely return to sport, and we try to provide, again, the best care anywhere in the country at Thompson High School. Go Warriors!
Welcome back to our pregame show here on the Warrior Nation Network. We've introduced both Matthew and John here on the broadcast. Down on the field for us this evening is our sideline reporter, Christina Chambers. Welcome back in, Christina, for another week of Thompson Warriors football.
That's right, Tim. One thing that head coach Mark Freeman said this week is it's one of the best practices he's had in a while out of this group. He said for 3 days straight, they were locked in, they were positive and motivated, and they were giving 110% every single play at practice. And he said that's what you want to see, and he hopes that carries into tonight's game against that region opponent. You mentioned the run game with Michael Duchamp, R.J. Evans. Expect them to get the ball a lot tonight as well. Coach Freeman says with the chance of rain, he says they're going to try to run the ball a lot. Not saying that they won't throw it, but he said they will rely heavily on those running backs. And as far as defense, hey, they just got to continue to get off the field on third down.
Thank you for that, Christina. All good news there being reported, and we love that. It's now time for Keys to Victory presented by Encore. Our thanks to the Encore Sports Medicine Athletic Trainers and Physical Therapists for providing our athletic training coverage today and every day. Encore is the official sports medicine and rehabilitation provider for Thompson Athletics and the Alabama High School Athletic Association. John, where are we starting?
All right, number one, minimize penalties. Last week, I know it turned into a blowout win, but the penalties kept stacking up over and over and over again. You have to limit those mistakes. You have to play good, fundamentally sound football. And that's something that, you know, when you have better athletes and you just have a better game plan, you can still run away with the game, but there's all kind of mistakes. You got to clean those up, especially as the opponents start getting tougher later in the season. This is a good time to try to play that good, fundamentally sound football and minimize those mistakes. Number two, you got to focus on what you can control. I think control what you can control is one of the best things to say in all the world, because don't worry about what they're doing over there. Don't worry about what they're saying over there. Don't worry about anything but what you can do. If you're left guard, play your position. Do what you can do. If you're a wide receiver, run your route. If you're on the defense, play your assignment. You got to control what you can control, and that's something that the Warriors need to remember tonight. And then focus on depth. You've heard all of us say, you know, Michael Duchamp and R.J. Evans. There's other people in there. You know, this is a good chance for some of these players to get in there and, you know, be able to get some valuable snaps before the schedule gets a little tougher, before Thompson goes on the road to a tough place to play like Vestavia next week. That's definitely really important in the game tonight. And as it rains and maybe, you know, there's some more slipping and stuff like that, bringing some fresh legs in there also will help.
All right, we are getting ready for the national anthem to be presented by the Marching Southern Sounds. That was great stuff, John. We appreciate that. We're looking forward to kickoff here. I'm about to toss things over to Matthew Moyer following this playing of our national anthem. Let's go ahead and head down to the field for a closer listen.
Presented by Thompson High School Marching Southern Sounds.
Welcome to Thompson Warrior Football, a legacy of excellence, carried through today and for generations to come. Bringing you the action tonight is the play-by-play voice of the Warriors, Matthew Moyer, color analyst and two-time state champion John Lunsford, Warrior Nation Network host Tim Melton, and Christina Chambers bringing us the action from the sideline. This is Thompson Football on the Warrior Nation Network.
Welcome home, Warrior fans. It's been several weeks since our Warriors have played at home, and our football team will play its second region game tonight against the Oak Mountain Eagles. Last week, our Warriors went on the road and defeated Tuscaloosa County for region win number 1, while the Eagles lost a close one at Herdmont Park to Prattville. Our Warriors go for region win number 2 tonight as the Eagles come to Warrior Stadium. And as I bring in my broadcast partner, John Lunsford, we prepare to see two very different 2-1 teams do battle. John, a contrast of styles and some interesting weather are in store for us as we see these two teams play their second region game. What do you like and what do you anticipate?
Yeah, I anticipate a lot of running the ball in this one. If that rain does come, it has not come yet. We will see if it does come, but I know that is the plan, is that it could potentially rain. Obviously, that's why we're playing at 6 o'clock right now instead of 7. And look, Dujon has been incredible. R.J. Evans has been incredible. They've been really solid for Thompson, but Will Odell has also been incredible for Oak Mountain. You kind of see shades of Evan Smith, which you had a few years ago, where he was kind of a do-it-all guy, but it was very much with his legs. And that's a team that Thompson, would even play in the playoffs. I think you think Oak Mountain last year, 1-9, that's not a playoff team. It's not that long ago where even, they would make the playoffs. And so, I know Shane McComb is trying to improve this team, already doubled last year's win total, and it was a very tough loss last week. So I think Oak Mountain is hungry. Obviously, Thompson is hungry to try to, run through region play again and try to win yet another region championship. But so is Oak Mountain, and I feel like legs are going to get it done today more so than arms, strictly because of what we expect to happen with the weather.
So their defense is led by a couple of linebackers. Colton Moore and Brooks Braswell will be a couple of guys to keep your eyes on the defensive side of the ball. And you mentioned Will Odell. In order to have any modicum of success against the Warrior defense, do you think that comes in the air, on the ground? It's not raining yet. It probably won't for a little while. What do you expect to see early from the Eagles when they're on offense?
Yeah, so look, Will Odell's averaging 164 yards a game. He's gone over 100 rushing every single game so far. But he's also averaging 249 through the air as well, so he can throw the ball. Before the rain comes, I mentioned in our pregame, I'd love to see Trent air it out a little bit until you kind of need to go to more of a running style because of the rain. Why not do the same thing if you're Oak Mountain? You've had success throwing the ball this season. Do that. And if you're Thompson, you mentioned trying to get past that, those few linebackers that are really good for Oak Mountain, throw the ball as well. I'd like to see things aired out. Now, you heard during the national anthem, that wind's hitting that crowd mic out there pretty good. You see the flags blowing pretty good in the background right there as we get to the coin toss, and the wind's going to definitely be a factor. So even before the rain starts, that kind of brings it more to the rushing game. So it's going to be Will Odell versus Michael Dujon. I think between those two, which one can run the ball more effectively, and obviously the offensive line, which one can block more effectively as well.
When I think of a team whose quarterback is the leading rusher, I think back to somebody like Michael Vick.
Yep.
If you have a quarterback like Michael Vick, having him as your leading rusher is a wonderful thing. In Region 3 in 7A football, I'm not necessarily sure you want your running back being your leading rusher.
Well, it makes it one-dimensional to where if there's any kind of injury, then you kind of are out at that point. And look, it's not that it can't have success. Evan Smith had success. I mean, he was very good at it. But it kind of gets you to that, maybe fourth best team in the region, in a region that obviously Thompson is very strong in both aspects of offense, passing, and running. Hoover has been very good at that. Hewitt-Trussville has been very good at that. Vestavia, kind of the same way. They've had a quarterback. John Paul Head was kind of that way for a couple of years that, it gets you only so far, but at the end of the day, the team with more depth, the team with a more well-rounded approach is ultimately going to be able to get the win. So, that's why I think when it comes to the rushing attack, Will Odell's great at that. He has been really good. Same with Evan Smith, but it only could get Oak Mountain really so far. So try to get what you can out of your really good receiving core that obviously a quarterback can't pass that well without good protection and good receivers catching the balls that he throws to them. So try to use that as much as you can and not force yourself to where you're having to do it all, because that can not only potentially get you hurt, but obviously just tire you out as the game goes along.
Yes, sir. One thing that you and I touched on last week, and I think it continues to be very important for the Warriors offense, is number 6. Gabe Binion has just been incredible, opening those rushing lanes for Michael Dujon and for R.J. Evans. How wonderful is it to have somebody that can really be an all-purpose player, not necessarily getting his name called maybe as often as he would like, but such an integral part of that offense?
Well, look, he's somebody that the last couple of years I have tried to call his name as much as possible because it is so valuable to have somebody like that, to have basically 6 offensive linemen. Not only do you have a good front 5 up there, but you have him being your lead blocker. The offensive line has their, respective places to go based on what the defensive front is and based on what they're seeing in that kind of front 7. Binion is basically going to be that lead guy that you follow right behind him wherever that ball goes. And depending on where he lines up, you can, sometimes you can read, hey, maybe the ball's going here, but then he becomes a decoy at another point as well, and you go away from him. He's so valuable in that position, and it was so great to watch him last year. It's so great to watch him this year, and I can't wait to see what he does. And that's one of those guys that's like, boy, wouldn't it be great if they threw the ball to Gabe Binion randomly here? Because he will line up as a tight end sometimes and potentially run routes, and that's somebody that, you go the first few games of the season and do nothing with him. All of a sudden, he's sitting there wide open and could potentially, be a guy you can use as an option to actually get the ball to.
Our Kent Farms Animal Hospital scoring drives. I'm anticipating seeing quite a few of those.